Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us on our Monday night training call. It is Monday, June 3rd, and tonight we are going into our why workshop. And it's going to be more than a why workshop, but we were really talking about kicking off this month of June that already feels so open and vibrant with the things that matter most as we're coming up to a high stakes, what feels like a high stakes time of this beauty summit in July qualification that we've all been moving towards in these trainings. So we want to focus on the things that matter most, on defining them as individuals and fostering them every day, making sure that you've got that individual and very personal fuel to be able to live in that vision that you've got for this and for your life in a larger sense, and be able to be larger than any one reach out, any one outcome of any one meeting or event or encounter. And I say any current encounter because just over and over time, I've seen things turn into other things. I've seen an unsubscribe from an email turn into a sign up a year later. And I've seen a, no, I'm not interested in that, turn into, hey, I want the regimen. And it's almost like they have no memory of the first thing, but we get them burned into our souls. But anyway, to get these important things in ourselves so that we're bigger than any result from the get-go. And of course, plenty doesn't happen, but plenty does happen. So it doesn't really matter all that much in the moment. So hopefully you've seen Simon Sinek's TED Talk on Start With Why. And we're going to review the main principles of that here and then dig into some of our own whys. We'll talk also about some mindset and strategies surrounding June and July for you, and wind up with some great tidbits to go forward in what you can do. So Leslie, do you want to kick it off with reviewing some of Simon's points?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I was just going back. I've listened to it so many times, and it's you guys. Raise your hand if did you all get a chance to watch it? If you haven't, it's no big deal. Okay, I'm dying to hear your takeaways. I feel like I talk a lot. I'm really excited to hear everybody's takeaways. It's really about for him. And I'm just looking down at some notes. How do you explain when others are able to achieve things that seem to defy all the assumptions? And, I really feel like that's what speaks to our business. I mean, there's so many assumptions that are made about the direct sales business or MLM, social selling, call it what you want. And so that's why we're here. It's like, how do we defy that? And we do it the same way that Apple and Google and YouTube, and we do it the same way. And I think that's what's really always speaks to me about this. And anytime I'm feeling off or not balanced about my own personal business, I immediately have to snap back into my why, and I go to that why. My why's changed so many times. And I think you'll hear, in these companies, it's the same thing with these leaders. I mean, they're constantly, because they're so innovative and they're always changing and they're always making sure that they're ahead, right? They've got to stay way ahead of the game and do it in a way that feels so good, right? To people, to their consumers, and do it in a way where they're not really talking about their products. They're really not. They're talking about something so much bigger, something that's just so mind-blowing. And so I'm always just like really inspired to hear them talk, but I'd really love to hear like everyone's, like all of your takeaways, especially if this is your first time listening to this talk. And just to hear how you think this could help you shape your business and even just, your life in general. Because for me, the first time I heard that, it definitely helped me to just redefine my business, and it's stuck with me, for 2.5 years now. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if anybody has a point on Simon's talk, you're all muted, so you can unmute yourself. Or raise your hand.
Yeah, Alice?
Yeah, I was thinking, when this is the second time I actually watched the video, because I think it came across at some other post, but it kind of goes back to our last, what is it? Zoom meeting that I was talking about holistically, head to toe, about clean. That there's like something in me that's sort of pushing me in that direction of trying to find out more clean products. And as I'm talking to people, some people actually say, I could see it in you. I hear you. I can hear your passion. I can hear your excitement for these products. When they say that to me, I think to myself, oh my gosh, wow, that's fantastic. Because I'm talking from my heart, how much I love these products and how much I believe in the products. And it's, I think, starting to really surface. In the beginning, it probably wasn't so, because I was still in that discovery mode of learning the product, learning the people that are around me, learning about your style, learning about Leslie's style, and your philosophies. And it's just all kind of filtering down.
Yeah.
And I think that people are seeing that. And when they tell me, I swear it's quite amazing that people do hear the why and they want to follow that why. They want to be part of that why.
Oh, I love that. I love that. And so it's evolved. I mean,
it has evolved for me, very much so.
Right.
And I knew what I wanted. At the beginning, I did not know how to convey that message. But now it's just kind of coming more and more naturally to me, especially because of the fact that I am meeting more and more people around the wellness groups and learning about the more holistic style. And then finally, I'm like, that's kind of what I've been looking for. Yet I sort of didn't know that I was looking for that. So it's been this journey, this 4.5, 5-month journey that it's like this pathway that's sort of, I was, how do I say, I was in this bumpy alley road. Now I'm sort of exiting that alleyway, and now I'm sort of being on, I feel like I'm on a state highway, and then I'm going to get to the freeway pretty soon. You see what I mean?
I love analogies.
You and Amelia should talk analogies. But what I love, and this is Al, and I want to hear from other people. I actually just heard Alice talk to some prospects about her whole, this wellness journey, the whole package really, and how it's impacting her. And it's so authentic, and the response is just incredible. It's really been fun to watch. And then I'm going to take a stab at it and say, on those days where maybe that order doesn't come through, that person decides they're going to wait a few months to join, you can just be like, you know what? Going back to my why, I am helping people to live cleaner, better, fuller lives, not just through but through everything that I'm doing and the kinds of connections that I'm making within this community. And so that's going to trump any one regimen order or any prospect pushing back a few months. Am I right? I think.
Yep.
It's a wonderful why.
Thank you, Alice.
Yeah, I feel so good about it. That's the thing. It's like, it's kind of, how do you say, it's becoming sort of part of my being almost, you know, I mean, again, it's evolving, and I know people like Meredith and some other people who are on that clean journey because of what they have experienced in the past. And when I hear that, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you know, I need to make sure that I get on that road as quickly as possible myself, and for Tom and Maddie at the same time. Like today, Tom bought this ice cream, and I was looking at the ingredients, and it said high fructose syrup and corn syrup. And I said, Tom, you got to look at the ingredients. It should be only 3 ingredients in the ice cream. That's it.
Yeah.
And he's like, I didn't know. I said, well, now you know.
Well, the why, like your why, and that why is really easily, wonderfully communicable. Oh my God, able to be communicated.
It's okay. We get it.
And there's others that are intrinsic and like really deeply personal or whatever. But I love what you said, Alice, because it brings out the point that whatever your why is the music behind your words, right? And people they hear your words, but what they really receive is your music. And so it's finding and fostering and creating the thing that people are really getting and really responding to. So that's perfect. Barbara, you had your hand raised, right? Did you go like this?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. And it's weird for me because I really signed up just to get the discount. And then when I saw the stuff that I got, I mean, the website, I was like, okay, I'll try this for 66 days. I think the training's interesting. I'm not making a huge amount of sales. I'm happy I was on that like poster, but my why is a deeper reason. For the past like 3 to 5 years, I've realized, maybe because I've gone through all this personal development, that everything I do has an intensely spiritual reason. And I mean that in a very broad sense, because I'm not an organized religion person. But what I've realized is the people that I reach out to, who purchase from me, it makes their lives better and it makes our relationship better. Yeah. And it's allowed me to connect with people that I have, either that I've been close to, but connect with them in a different way that makes their lives better. And people that I've had very contentious relationships with for years, because I can say to them, oh, look, I have this tiny little sample of something that might help you with that. Try it and see if you like it. And that engages us in a different kind of conversation. And the next thing I know, they're purchasing from me. And then we have something that's totally non-contentious to talk about all the time. And it makes us closer. And that's how this is working for me.
Mm-hmm. It's a uniter.
Hard to sell, though.
But it all comes, all of that, the numbers, the volume, all of that comes in time. But I love that. I love that it's a uniter. And, in a world that's so complicated and so full of contention, it is so lovely to have something light and fun and beautiful to chat about. Mm-hmm. And then we go way, way deeper. Obviously, this ends up being about much, much more than skincare. But gosh, it's just a fun thing for people to get together and chat about. It's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome, Barbara.
Meredith.
I love that.
Oh, wait, you're muted. Hold on.
There we go.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I just was going to share a quick story. I was at a library and technology conference in February, and I was sitting at a table with all men, and one of them turned out to be the owner of a coding company, and he's from Indian descent. And we were just chatting about different things, and somehow the topic of skincare came up. He was talking about his wife, and I just kind of interjected in the conversation, and we were chatting about it. And I gave him information about the company for his wife and so on and so forth. And later that day, when he was walking out, he stopped to talk to me, and he goes, I know that you love the library and what you're doing. He goes, but you came alive when you started talking about the skincare. He goes, that's where your passion is. He goes, whether it's helping people build a business, he goes, or if it's helping people find clean products, because I ended up sharing the story with him. But to see it from somebody else's perspective of the difference between you can do something that you love and something that you absolutely come alive in, and that's really, for me, where I really started to find and be more reaffirmed, I guess, that my why is right where it should be, that that other people can feel it, that it's palpable in there.
Love that.
It's so true. It's like you don't even have to say it, you're just chatting, and you light up, right? You just light up. There's this shift and you don't realize you're doing it, and it just happens. And I guess you two probably feel it from within, but other people really do. They really do know, and that's where the authenticity comes through.
Well, I think that they're really, like, however people choose to believe in it, like, you can really feel the energy of someone else when they are truly passionate about something and believe in it, just like you can spot a bullshitter a mile away. Like, a lot of it just
Right.
comes with the energy that you are giving off. So when you're talking about your products and you really do feel unsure and you feel that icky part of it, that you might feel other people are going to resonate with that piece. So that's why I think that this TED Talk is so important, is honing in on that, on the why you're doing exactly what you're doing. And it can be different. Like, it doesn't have to be clean products. It doesn't have to be about empowering women. It doesn't have to be those things. But this could just, ever might be your vessel in doing whatever your why is that's attached to it. And I don't think I really understood that until even maybe this past summer when we did that. I remember being outside and we were talking about the whys, and my kids are one of the other reasons about making sure that they know that they shouldn't be afraid if they want to live outside the box of a college education, if they want to do something else, if they want to be an entrepreneur, that they have that to look at, I guess. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call.
No, yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible what it's done. What it opens up. It's opened up my eyes too, as somebody who always had such a traditional, work background. I never, I don't know about you guys, but for me, I never knew that this existed in the way it does. Mm-hmm. It's very, very cool to be able to share some of this with my kids as well. I feel the same way.
I think
I'll be shocked if they don't have side hustles. It'll be shocking, right? At the very least. Mm-hmm. At the very least. Better be with Ever, but
I remember watching something from Mary Claire last fall, and she was talking about how even as a doctor that she can work 80 hours a week or whatever it is, but there is a physical limit to the amount of money that she can make, that she physically cannot work any more hours and make any more money, and that she was trapped in this box. And all I could think of was, oh my gosh, she's a doctor and she's telling me that there's no way she can make any more money. And a lot of times in society, this is the epitome of what you should be achieving. And she's sitting there saying, that is not enough. I deserve more. Mm-hmm. And the idea, and I'd already been looking at other sources of passive income and how that is created. And just to have someone, a female specifically, say that out loud was really telling, because then it got me looking at my job and what I do. It's it doesn't matter how amazing I am at my job. It doesn't matter how many different clubs I run or different technologies that I teach. I will literally not be paid any more money than I'm currently making until a boss tells me that I can make any more money, that I deserve to make more money. And that was really scary and empowering and freeing to know that I can be in charge of how much money my family makes, and I can be in charge of the freedom that comes with that. But I definitely have to put the work in to do it. And is that important enough for me to learn new things, to be uncomfortable, to be coachable, and to do things that my family looks at and thinks I'm slightly crazy? But I'm okay with all of those things.
Right. Well, we lived like this for a few years, kind of and then later it just will become something that's truly extraordinary.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And the more that you do it, the more happens, and the more that happens, the more that you believe.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to beef up that vision and belief before anything happens. Mm-hmm. And that will actually bring it faster, I think. I'm a huge believer of law of attraction and aligning with energy, aligning with what you want. And I think, so a lot of what your why is your belief level. What do you believe? What is your mindset? And this is where all the huge amounts of personal development end up coming in. If you want to grow, your why has to grow. It's perfect wherever it is. Mine it for everything that it is now. And then, bring it a little farther so that you can go where it's going. And if you feel stuck at all, watch your mind, watch your thoughts, and a simple way, and watch how you feel when you think, right? So a simple way to observe this is thinking about a train. I love analogies, Alice, all day long. So your desire, right, is pure. Your desire for whatever it is that you want in anything. And it's there's a train that's there. Your desire puts an engine on one end of the train and the train starts moving. There's nothing in its way. And then immediately what we usually do, because our minds default to the negative unless you really practice other things, it's oh, I want this, but, and then you notice something about reality and you pay attention to the thing that is stopping it. And it's like putting an immediate engine going on the train going the opposite way, which causes no movement. And then when we see no movement, we find the proof for why it's not happening. It really still doesn't happen. And then more and more and more and more of that until there's so much evidence of it not happening that that's what we believe. So it's like you really are creating a situation that can be shifted with a bunch of just getting a different voice in your head. I was super stuck for a long time. My desire couldn't have been bigger. My why couldn't have been bigger. And I just noticed I wasn't moving in this business. In my previous acting career, I look back at that now, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's a whole other call. But I realized that I had serious limiting beliefs, and like I had to get someone else's voice in my head. So I started really listening to all kinds of other things, other podcasts, just not my voice, because I thankfully realized what I was really telling myself. And it's so small and subconscious most of the time that we don't even realize it's happening. So someone said, I can't remember, one of the mentors I've been listening to for years was like, listen, you have to brainwash yourself for success. Like, get the other voices in your head. And if it has to be all day long, different podcasts, Jessica Heron, Tony Robbins, whatever it is, so that you start to believe something else. Because your thoughts, Tony Robbins is like, your thoughts aren't you. They're just thoughts. And you can shift your thoughts to align with the thing you're actually going for and who you actually want to become. So that's a whole other part of fostering this why and fostering the thing that is going to allow you to receive the things that you want, So with that said, let's talk about June and July. Right, Leslie?
We're ready. I'm drinking coffee at 9:30. We are ready.
Of course you are.
Of course we are. We're so excited for July. I really am. And what Amelia is saying, first of all, she's brilliant. We're so lucky to have her here. And I know you guys all know that, but we're just so fortunate. But we become what we believe, right? We really, really do. We've all been stuck. Every single one of us has been stuck. I get stuck, then I get unstuck. That's the key, get unstuck. And June and July are going to be months where I think we all just need to commit to one another. Maybe we can all just get a little extra accountability from this group right now that we're not going to get stuck, that we're going to be just full speed ahead on this train. And here's why. So this whole thing about no matter how you feel about incentives, everybody has different reactions to big goals and incentives and change and things, right? But they are in place for a reason. Ultimately, if you want, whatever you want to walk across stage at a beauty summit, if you want to walk across as a VP, senior executive, senior influencer, whatever you want to be there, we want to make sure that you've got all of the tools and the support and this why and mindset in place to help you get there. So what's really important is the journey. Honestly, you're going to show up the way you're supposed to show up at Beauty Summit. Honestly, if I'm supposed to be senior specialist at Beauty Summit, I'll be senior specialist at Beauty Summit, and that's supposed to happen. You see plenty of VPs that maybe they didn't hit it, they show up as senior exec, and then 2 months later, they're senior VP. So we want to be careful that we're not so attached to that goal and that outcome that it actually shuts us down and does what Amelia was just talking about. But we do want to be open to it, and we want to kind of have fun and be playful, right, with the challenge that's there, because Ever puts these incentives and these goals in place for us to help us. Their goal, they want nothing more, obviously, than our success. And these goals and these incentives are in place to get us there, to help us to grow our businesses in the best way and in a fast way too, because everybody wants to get this going. Everybody wants to have success. And I don't think there's a better way than to take a month like July, which is traditionally not a top month, and turn that around and make it a top month. I've seen Kristen Crowley do it with August. I've seen other people take months that aren't necessarily hot skincare months and make it their number one month. And it's all because they say, no, this is going to be the best month. And here's how we're going to do it. So it happens all the time. So once we can all work together to get our mindset and our whys really clear, we can have a blast with this. And we can also just fit it into our lives, because summer can be busy and your schedules can change. So a couple things that I got off the phone with David Box, because I had some questions for him, because we've been doing lots of really fun coaching. And a couple things that he said that'll really help you. So raise your hand. Who has their goal? Who knows where they want to be right now in July? You have your rank that you want to be.
How do I raise my hand?
Just
just
raise it.
Just,
This hand.
Oh,
you can do real life.
I thought it was a button. I'm just gonna push
Oh no, we're old school.
the whole time. I don't even get it. The whole time I keep looking and looking.
There was a little hand,
Okay.
but we'll just do real hands. Okay, does anybody not know? And I can't see everyone, some of your pictures. Does anybody not know yet what they want to be at Beauty Summit? And that's totally great. Barbara?
Yeah, honestly, I'm just worried about because I want to be in Chicago by then. So I'm trying to get all my little ducks in a row for moving.
So you're in logistics world. And you know what? That's great too. I mean, that's great. My first Beauty Summit, I didn't even necessarily know. Amelia just said, you need to go. And I'm like, really? And she said, yeah, you should go. You're going to love this. It's amazing. It'll change your business. And I was extremely unsure of what I was getting myself into because I had never been to anything like that. And I was blown away and it changed my business. No doubt about it. So, I do think the Beauty Summit's just totally fun, but I love that they're doing this. At first I didn't. At first I was like, oh my gosh, July, they're putting everything on July. And I was like in tears, like, but I worked on, now they've changed all the, all the markers for, what it takes to be on stage and to hit this and that. And, and Amelia was just like, okay, take a deep breath. Let's think this through.
Well, that's because I had already had my own panic in the boardroom with Jeremy. he told this to the VPs and SVPs, and all of us were like we were shocked. We were like, what? And we panicked, and he was like, listen. And Leslie did. She burst into tears, and she was like, all my work is gone. It was like a crazy moment. Yeah. Which is totally legit. And there's fear around that, but it's our job now to be like, okay, Jeremy, this has never happened before. We've never lived this before. We get to live this for the first time. And we get to be the kind of people who are like, all right, that's what it is. Let's do this thing. Let's be curious about it. Let's have fun with it. Let's see where we can land with it. And it's just cool. It's part of, I looked at him. We were like, for sure. He was like, this works. And we're all like, really? He's like, every single year we did this at RNF. Every single year, it was the biggest month of the entire year. And we were like, really? And he's like, yeah. He's like, you've got to trust me. And because the bigness in July happens, what that means for the fall, which is the biggest season, is like a whole other level, a whole other thing. And he's like, you've got to trust me. I'm asking you to trust me. So we're like, all right. But that's kind of how that went down. Keep going, Leslie. I kind of interrupted you.
No, I mean, that's what this is about, just to because this is new for all of us. And it's going to be really cool. Now that I've wrapped my head around it and I understand kind of, I think, the metrics as well. And I understand wherever wants us to be able to go with this. I mean, just think about how great your fall and your, kind of your holiday season are going to be if we have these really robust summer months. So long story short, I called David Box because I wanted to make sure I had a pretty good idea of how I wanted to be coaching on this. Because it's new, I wanted to be 100%. And we were on, Amelia, we're all, we're in a perfect place, and we're perfectly poised right now to have an incredible June and July. But here are a couple tips for you guys. David said definitely that go all out in June, first 3 weeks in June. Just do what you would normally do times 2, as Amelia said, kind of 2 times it, kind of double time. So we're going to put a ton of extra effort in here. That last week in June, what David suggests is if you have regimen orders coming in, if you have people wanting to sign up, move those to July. So because remembering that July is the month, so whatever your pay rank is in July is what you'll be recognized at for Beauty Summit. And that translates also, if you're hitting exec, you want to hit exec in July so that you can come to that leader day. That's super important to Amelia, to me, to all of us. I mean, we would love to get as many people to executive in July as possible because we think you guys deserve to be at leader day. So that's that's my why right now, just so you know. I want my team at leader day because you guys work so hard. Anyway, so definitely for June, take that last week and move those to July. If you can, and we can talk about how to do that. A couple ways that David was explaining. If you've got, let's say it's June 28th and you've got somebody wanting to come on or place an order, don't say, hey, jump back on my website and, first week in July and do that. do this instead. Say, hey, I'm going to take your information down and I'm going to go ahead and place that for you. So that way you're placing the order for them. You want control over that order or that sign up, and you can take all of their information, and then you can either create the account or you can even get them signed up if they'll give you their social. So he's just saying be very aware of that last week and going ahead and moving those. Do you guys have questions about that? Because I'm always really straight. I mean, I don't really, if somebody wants to come on, they come on, as long as it's fast start, friendly for them. And I never.
So quick question, Leslie.
Yeah.
So let's say that since we don't know what the June specials are, let's say that there's a special running that the customer absolutely wants.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, we want to place the order now.
Then you
on June 28th.
Then you do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It'll be interesting to see. So Wednesday, they're making an announcement. So Amelia, do you know anything more about the Wednesday announcement?
I don't know. There's a call tomorrow, and then there's an exec call the next day, and then everybody will know. There is a product launch in June, so I think they're probably going to launch in a few days, whatever this thing is. I have no idea what it is. I would think they would launch it earlier than later in the month. I don't know, but that's what I'm guessing it is. There is a product launch in June.
Yeah, and I would be really surprised if there's some incredible sign up special or something the last week in June, Alice, because I think they know how important July is going to be.
Yes, I was going to say hopefully maybe that special will run and stop at June 27th, and then there's that 3 days of okay, there's not much going on, and then we can sort of say, well, maybe there's probably something really big happening in July. Let's go ahead and get your orders placed. Give me all the information. I'll do it on July 1st or July 2nd, whatever.
Right.
Sometime in July.
They have our backs. So I never worry. I have so much trust and faith in our home office. I never even worry about it. I really do trust that they'll have a very cool product launch. I mean, Meredith, you guys, right? I mean, don't you kind of agree? It'd be a really cool product launch. That'll just let us do a ton of seed planting, get a ton of orders, make your June as big as you can, but just until that last week, and then we'll just start moving things into August. Now, obviously, if there's a big change, if something else happens, I'll let you know, but I don't think David would have really suggested that strategy if he knew that there was going to be some amazing special the last week in June.
So just for clarification, if they're doing a product launch at the beginning of June, but July is supposed to be our big hit for Beauty Summit.
Right. There'll be more in July, I think. That would be my guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Because I guess I was just assuming.
Yeah.
What that means that they were going to do a launch, let us know about it mid-June, launch it at the very end of June, ideally for people to pick up in July.
I don't know yet. I mean, I just don't know the details yet. I just can't imagine that they wouldn't be doing something cool.
No, they would never do anything that wouldn't be beneficial to us. I know that without a doubt, but I'm assuming things and wondering if it's one product, is it two, is it three? Do they work together?
Right.
But we don't know anything.
Nothing.
Dang it.
Nothing.
48 hours. 48 hours.
Yeah, 48 hours we'll know. And Meredith, you might, whatever, if this is a product launch, it might be in hand in Chicago.
Which would be huge.
Meredith's the first one to meet Buck of us all.
Oh,
it's so exciting.
That's cool.
So get your Chicago friends to these events. So definitely, you guys, that's another thing that we really, these events are everything. There's a huge event coming up in Northern Virginia. So think about your friends who are in Maryland, DC, Northern Virginia, that whole Washington, DC metropolitan area. I know right where it is. It's in Old Town Alexandria on the water at Virtue. It's going to be great. So start thinking about DC, get these people to Chicago. They can meet Meredith. It's really cool. They're hitting some very cool cities. And then they'll be in New England for the first time with Brandy Conroy. Mm-hmm. So think about who you know in New England and that whole, Boston area. So it's just a really, really smart and creative way to, to get people to these events. We just know what a difference it makes when people can go and actually meet these leaders. It feels so different. It feels so real. When you feel that energy. So June and July, that is kind of the game plan. Print out, if you guys haven't printed out if you haven't mapped out your month yet, it's my monthly action plan that I know we've talked about. No matter where you are in your business right now, no matter where, do this. It is such a valuable exercise for everyone to do, and then have your team members do it. No matter where they are, because when you see this written down and you put it on the bulletin board, it just makes it much, much easier. And gives you those good tangible goals. So do that and just go all out. So Ever always suggests a minimum of 2 events a month. I would say double it, do 4 events a month. And that can be simple. We've been talking a lot about 2+Us. Just call one of your friends perhaps you have a friend who is a discount specialist or a really good client of yours. And instead of asking her in June and July to do a party for you, if you can certainly run a party or event, but sometimes we know our friends and maybe they're super busy and have just so much going on. And you're like, hey, listen, this is a script for it. Hey, thank you so much for everything that you're doing with Ever. I know you're loving the products and we're just super appreciative. Fun idea for you as a little thank you to you. I'd love to just give you, I've got a couple really fun little travel products I'd love to gift you. If we can just do a fun little 2+U. So if you can think of 2 people that you can have over, we can do it at a coffee shop, because I know your house, I know it's crazy, it's summer. We can just meet somewhere for wine or coffee, or do it at your house, and it's just you and 2 friends. And then we get to introduce them to Ever, and you get a little goodie out of it. So that's really hard to say no to. It's super easy, and you're not using the word party or event. We love the word party or event, don't get me wrong, but when you're in June and July and you're trying to do more, if you're trying to double everything, this is a really easy way to maybe get 3 or 4 of those going, in addition to maybe a larger event or party or a happy hour or what have you. So 2+U, 2 and then +U. We've got a couple little graphics I've made up. If you want it, I'll post it. Super easy. So just think of those realistic ways that you can slide an hour here, an hour there, where you do 4 of those in a month. That's 8 new, potentially 8 new clients. Within those clients, I bet you have 1 or 2 specialists.
Yep. And I bet you even book some things off of that, because of the experience that gets had.
Easy, and total value add. And then again, going back to that whole wellness, like what Alice was talking about, what a cool way to just be like, hey, let's just do some wellness, whether kids are home, it's crazy, whatever it is that's going on in life, be like, this is just a little treat for you, 2 friends, done. So really be thinking about 2+Us. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be doing more of those, and then be thinking of just your one-to-ones. And sometimes on those one-to-ones, as you guys know, it's really not as much about Ever. It's about who can you help? Who can you be of service to? Try to do 1 a week where you're not thinking about your product, where you're not thinking about your bottom line, right? Just be, how can I be of service to somebody, another small business owner? Ideally, another female entrepreneur, somebody, an independent business owner or a small business owner. What can I do? Can I interview them on my Facebook? Can I give them a big shout out in social media? Can I grab a friend to go, meet them, whatever? And that'll all come back to you in a really beautiful, organic way later within your business as well. You may end up then having a pop-up at that shop, or, who knows, maybe that person will down the road be looking for a side hustle, and they're going to think of you because you were kind, right? So just those really, really simple actions that are easy for you, they mean the world to other people. So for me, that's like a really big part of what I do. And it sometimes, it doesn't come back to me in numbers, but it comes back to me just in, I don't know, like a feeling of just that good feeling,
And the numbers are coming. Those numbers are coming.
Oh, they do come. I mean, they do come, but I don't think about them. It just becomes an organic part of your day to day.
Right. Just like farmers, they work the land, they work the land. There's seasons for planting and seasons for reaping. We're constantly planting. And you just got to know, you cannot see where the seeds are underground.
Nope.
They're growing. We can't see it. They're going to pop in times that we don't even know. Yeah. And that's the same. And that's the feeling I fall in love with every day. That knowledge that that's happening. So I constantly feel a sense of movement and growth and life. And then it's happening. So I lost my train of thought.
In that pause, can I tell my little story then?
Yes.
Please. So a friend of mine that has been on my Facebook group page from the very beginning. Never responded to any of my emails. Never, like, she's been on the, on the group, but never responded. And then the other day, she texted me out of the blue. She's like, "Okay, I'm ready. I did the quiz on your website. I think I know what I want, but do you have time to talk about it?" And she placed an order today for a regimen.
That's awesome.
Right?
I was like, okay.
That's so great.
Yep. There it is, right there.
So,
That is
yeah.
for every single one of you.
Yep.
So this idea of a cadence, right? When we say like 2x, 3x, I'm a person who has been an extremist. So like, I would be like, I'm going to do 40 reach outs every day. It's just not, that's what I would do. And I would, of course, burn out after 2 days and then not do anything for a week. So like, I've learned that you've really got to like if you haven't done like consistent reach outs, literally start with 2 a day. And then after a week, like add a third. And then do 3 a day, and then stick with that maybe only, because then you're going to have a lot of follow-ups, or then up it to 5, like whatever it can be consistent, because consistency is the key. That cadence, walking down the road, being in the movement, having like your wings outstretched, even if there's no wind, not going to fly, like keep your wings outstretched and keep moving, because like the wind is coming, the wave is coming. And if you are already in movement, ready, going down the road, it's going to catch you farther and faster. So that's another analogy. That is very true. And we can track with each other. I feel like we can make some sort of, weekly, like post who you reached out to, do a little screenshot, tell a story of what happened. And the more that we're sharing in that way, the more that we can enjoy the accountability and the energy and feel like we're really creating something. Because for sure, June and July, I view them as equal, because June makes your July. And all of you who are on this call certainly know that, but I think that we can track together and make it be fun.
And you know what's going to happen inevitably? We're not even talking about August, and August is going to be bananas because of all of this action that everyone's going to be in. Just good, authentic action.
Yep.
It's going to be, you guys, it's going to be amazing. And by the way, all of these really cool challenges that Ever has in place right now, if you go in, they're doing some really nice stuff. Definitely jump in and participate. There's a really fun one to win the beautiful Ever tote. They're giving like one away a day. There's just all this great stuff going on. So jump in there and get super involved. Jocelyn Santiago is just such a gift to this company. And some of the stuff that she has going on is really awesome. So I've got to jump in there and do it. And that's a whole nother group. So you've got more opportunities to just learn. And these last 2 fast start calls were awesome. This company, in addition to what Amelia does for all of us every day, you've got this company that's just doing amazing things as well. So I think we all just need to take, myself included, I don't always take full advantage. I need to like jump in and take full advantage, especially right now when we're all trying to really achieve and grow these businesses. So it's going to be fun, and they've got us covered in a lot of ways too. So serving it up, more coffee.
I can't believe it. I can't.
I'm so behind. I know. It's okay. Guys, who else has a why? I mean, has anyone, like a car?
You know what?
Mary.
Oh,
is that, yeah. Who has their why? Anybody written it out or? Go ahead, Alice.
no, I was saying while people are thinking about it, I was just thinking back to the pop-up I did at the gym this past weekend, the grand opening.
Yeah.
You will just never know. You almost have to put faith in what people tell you. So there are these 2 ladies, I told Leslie about this. There were these 2 ladies that came up to the table and they were sweaty. You could tell that they just finished a workout. They're like, "Oh, what is this?" They're all like excited to see what was at the table. And then tried everything out. They loved everything. And one lady said, "Well, how long are you going to be here? For a couple more hours? I'm going to go home and shower and I'm going to come back and see you again. Okay?" I was like, "Sure. Okay. That'd be great." She goes, "I'm going to come back all fresh and clean." And in the back of my mind, right, I'm thinking she probably won't come back. I mean, who goes back to the gym the second time around within a couple hours, right? Nobody.
Miracle if I even get to the gym.
Yeah. And then this lady comes at the table and she's like, "Hi." And I looked at her and I was thinking, do I know her? Because she was all fresh, all dressed up. She had glasses on before she didn't have my glasses on. She goes, "I'm back. It's me." And I was like, "Oh, hi." And then she ended up buying the regimen because she loved it so much. All this stuff that I slathered on her, she loved it so much. She's like, "I want it." So you just never know. You just never know. It was just so funny. Oh,
I love it.
I know.
Spaghetti on a wall.
Yep.
Spaghetti on a wall. Sometimes events like that, there's nothing in the moment. Other times that happens, you literally never know.
So you
So
just
cool.
did a pop-up at a gym? Is that what you said, Alice?
yes, it was a grand opening. A photographer friend that I met at a networking event, told me, "Oh, hi." She told me about it, and she's like, "Hey, why don't you go? It's free. There's a bunch of vendors that are invited, and I would love for you to come because there's no skincare person." I said, "Yes, of course." It wasn't like high volume traffic or anything, but I definitely got some good leads. And then this girl who's a nurse, she's an RN. I fell in love with it. She works for Humana and she works from the home office just like I do. So we had a lot of things in common when we were talking. But I just kind of, took it with a grain of salt that she would come back, but she came back.
And now, once she loves the regimen, you can send her the happy hour.
Yeah, I plan to invite her to my house, as a matter of fact, because I am having a clean, crafted, organic wine collaboration with a wine lady that I had met. And she's actually going to probably pick up the kit from me. Yeah.
Love it.
And we're going to do that together.
Is that the Scout and Cellar?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the same thing I'm doing. Awesome.
That's right, Angie.
Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, I bought a half a case, and it's sitting at my front, right at my foyer, and she's coming over tomorrow. I said, "Look, I want to post you on my Facebook the opening of the box, and I'll introduce you to my group, and I would love you to introduce me to your group, your Facebook group. How about that?" And she goes, "Perfect. Let's do it."
Yeah, almost every physical event can be turned into a virtual event with lives and unboxings and demos.
Yeah, I was like, "I want to unbox your wine and take you to my group." And she goes, "Oh, that's so great." And I said, "Will you do the same for me?" She goes, "Yeah." Because, there's no competition. It's complimentary. I told her, "Hey, it's complimentary. Let's help each other out." She said, "Perfect."
This is where this is what I love more than anything.
And that's how you find the new people. Yeah. It's like other people's audiences.
Natural.
It could be way more than 30 people a month through that kind of leveraged creative thinking. And for Angela and Alice and anybody else who finds anyone to do with wine to collaborate with, is a great title for that is the Beauty Bar.
That's cute. The Beauty Bar. Ours is less wrinkles, more wine.
Oh, that's good too. Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, we're doing one at my house, and then she's going to do one at her house. So it's different groups of people.
Yeah. Perfect.
I would encourage everyone to really, whoever you can collaborate with, you can help, you can get them on your Facebook to do a live, to help to promote them. These collaborations are everything. I mean, I can't imagine like business without them. And I think, I don't know, wouldn't you guys agree? Like those of you who are doing all of these fun collaborations, don't they just bring you so much joy?
Absolutely. They're so fun. Yeah, I'm gonna probably do one with Juice Plus because I buy some products from them, and she ended up placing her first order with me, and so I was really happy about that. So we're probably gonna also do something within each other's Facebook groups.
It's fabulous.
I met a cleaning gal who makes her own cleaning products, and they're all green and organic and lovely. And then I met this organic hairstylist, and we're all collaborating, and we're going to try to do an event once a month and invite all kinds of people every month to promote their business, to promote mine. And I'm really, really excited about it because it's just part of our passion. We all have the shared passion, and it's infectious, and it also is motivating to have those groups. Because if you have your own event to show up at, it's it's like takes an extra push. But if you know you're showing up for other people and you're all a part of it together, there's something about that camaraderie and support system. So I'm really excited. That's going to be starting this month for me. So
I love that it's monthly.
Yeah.
And that is anything that's going to be monthly. Anything that's got that consistency behind it, it's going to work if you could just stick with it.
Yeah.
And some of them are going to be amazing and some of them aren't going to feel as amazing, whether they may be later, but yeah, the consistency is everything.
Yep. And maybe on the 7th or 8th time, someone goes, I keep seeing that, like, I'm going to go, or I can finally go, or, you know, it just proves
it's kind of,
longevity.
it's like our recognition posts, you know, when people see over and over again. And that's why, you know, it's so cool because the bigger the team gets, the more passion that's behind it, the more posts you see. It's so exciting to go through Facebook and see so many, you know, leaders tagging leaders. I mean, it's very cool, these recognition posts. And I swear that's when people are like, oh, they see it the first time and it's like, that's nice. The second, the third, the fourth, by the 12th, the 13th, like, wow, this is for real. Maybe I'll jump on this.
Yep.
I can't tell you how many people have reached out to me a year and a half, 2 years later, and they've been following all those posts. They're so valuable.
For the most part, people want to see what you're actually going to do with it. People want to see if it's for real. They want to sit back and watch, most people. And there's that classic YouTube video of like the one dancer on the hill, and it's a commentary on leadership. I'm going to post it on the team after this. But like, it takes the lone nut. They call the one person dancing on the hill like the lone nut, and everyone's kind of like, look at that guy. But then there's one guy that comes and dances too, and it's like, oh, it's a little more fun. Oh, someone.
Yeah, I've seen that video, and then like everybody is dancing, like in
Yep, because people, for the most part, any dance floor, they're more comfortable dancing when more people are dancing. So we're the ones who are like the few people right now dancing. But we just have to keep, like, people are watching and they wish that they were out on the floor, but they don't, like, they just need to see a little more. That's what most people are. And that's what I'm talking about when, like, the wind is coming, the wave is coming, and we're in great position if we just keep dancing, like, and not care.
You can't care. You
can't care. Because the people who care, you know, you're out there, you're dancing, but if people are self-conscious when they're dancing, it's so uncomfortable, right? We just can't, like, we can't be self-conscious. So beef up that music, beef up that belief, and like the connection with each other helps me tremendously with that. Like, get rid of that. So it is almost 10:15, so we can wrap it up. I've gotten a tremendous amount from this call, and I hope that you all have too. I'm going to stop the recording. We'll stay on a couple more minutes if anybody has anything else to ask.
I need to go.
Okay. Thank you.
Night, ladies.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Barbara.
Bye.